My book, Taking on the Men, the first women parliamentary candidates, 1918, is published to coincide with the centenary in December of the momentous general election of that year. Women had been campaigning for the vote on the same basis as men for several decades. Their readiness to take on jobs normally undertaken by men during the First World War was rewarded when women over 30 won the right to vote with the passing of the 1918 Representation of the People Act. However, there was uncertainty whether women could stand as parliamentary candidates. One of the final acts of Parliament before the calling of the general election was to state explicitly that women would not be excluded by sex or marriage from being candidates or full members of the House of Commons. Women scrambled to get their names on the ballot paper when nominations closed on Wednesday the 4th of December. But of the 1,623 candidates for the 707 seats in the House of Commons, only 16 were women, just about 1%. A 17th woman candidate was added the following week when she stood in for her husband, who had died after nominations closed. The 17 pioneer women candidates ranged in age from 31 to 74. 5 stood as independents, 4 each for Labour and the Liberals, 2 for Sinn Féin, and 1 each for the Conservative Unionists and the Women's Party. 3 women stood in adjoining seats in the West Midlands. I have studied each of their campaigns in depth and included 3 case studies. Christabel Pankhurst fought Smethwick for the Women's Party. She was a leading suffragette and the daughter of Emmeline Pankhurst. Mary Macarthur fought Stourbridge for the Labour Party. She was a well-known trades unionist and a long-term campaigner for adult suffrage. Margery Corbett Ashby contested Birmingham Ladywood for the Liberals against future Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain. The campaign was overshadowed by demobilisation, loss of munitions work for many women, and a flu pandemic. Polling day on Saturday the 14th of December was felt to have been particularly subdued. The count was delayed for a fortnight to enable the votes of troops to arrive by post. Only 1 woman was elected, Countess Macarthur of Sinn Féin. She chose not to take her seats in the Westminster Parliament. None of the other 16 pioneers ever sat in the House of Commons. Taking on the Men, the first women parliamentary candidates, 1918, is available from all bookshops, both in the High Street and online.